Hey guys, welcome back to my Mario Kart ranking series. Today we will be looking at Mario Kart Double Dash. Finally, I've suffered through the old games and now I get to finally talk about one of my favorites in the series. I love this game so much. Compared to all the other entries, this is the game that introduced so many new features that a lot of them never came back. Whether it has to do with two characters in a single car, different characters having special items, the ability to play co-op and not just in a team, there's so many cool things in the game that I just love. They've also introduced a lot of new characters such as Daisy, Birdo, Toadette, Diddy Kong, Bowser Jr., King Boo, Petey Piranha, and even Paratroopa, who has never appeared in any other Mario Kart in the series, including Tor. But you came to this video to see my track ranking, and how are the tracks? They're great! They're some of my favorite tracks in the entire series, and I would say none of them are unenjoyable, though we do have a few that aren't quite as good, but it's still charming enough that you can still have a decent time. I love the different themes in all of the tracks, and if you pay attention closely, you can see that the tracks are interconnected to one another, which is a really great detail. God, I love this game. Anyway, let's get started with the rankings, starting with the C tier. Number 16, Sherbet Land. Man, what is with these winter themed tracks? I want to love them, but I unfortunately don't. Sherbet Land is not as bad as the N64 version. Yes, it's the exact same name, not a remake. However, because of Double Dash's slippery controls, this track often leaves me more frustrated, especially on 150cc on these ice sections. Though I do like the theme, and the Shy Guys skating are cute, it's one that I don't care to revisit. The music is alright, but that's about it. Number 15, Dry Desert. Dry Desert doesn't really add much to the desert themed tracks, but there's a couple things that are neat, such as the tornado that makes you go up high, you fall into the wormhole and the plant eats you, and the pokies make good obstacles. But other than that, I find the layout to be bland, especially towards the end where there's bumpy hills. That really doesn't raise my excitement level, and it makes me want to finish the course. Not a bad track by any means, and there's a lot of elements I enjoy, not one that I find it stand out. Number 14, Mario Circuit. I quite enjoyed this Mario Circuit on the Wii version, but I don't know if I can say the same thing for the original. Just like all Double Dash tracks, they're really charming and add a lot to these tracks. The chain chomp is nice, and there's Peach's castle in the background. But before I found this track to be satisfying due to the ending, and because there's no tricking system in this game, the bumpy section and the ramp at the end doesn't really make it satisfying, and that's why it doesn't live up the full potential compared to other ones. So that concludes our C tier, onto the B tier, let's go. Number 13, Dino Jungle. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this track has never been my favorite. I was already kinda underwhelmed in the DS version, and this one didn't do for me much. I will definitely say it's a good course with a difficult track design, but most underwhelming part of the track for me was that there's only one dinosaur on this track, which is lame. Pterodactyls don't really count since they're up in the air, but yeah, it's more so the theming that kinda disappoints me. Otherwise, I like the big shortcut you can take in the cave, and the geysers on multiple parts of the track. Number 12, Peach Beach. This is a nice relaxing track that I have a good time with. The scenery is beautiful, and I love that you can see the Daisy Cruiser in the background. I also like how this track was used for the ending ceremony, which makes this track better. And also, there's that useless pipe at the top left, where if you go there, you can get a double item box, which is weird, but I like it. The cataclocks are also a great obstacle for this track, sending you up in the air. On a kind of related note, after Mario Kart Wii for some reason, these guys never appeared again. Why is that, Nintendo? I guess we will never know. Anyway, let's move on. Number 11, Luigi's Circuit. Now for those who haven't played the game, might think I'm crazy putting a starter track this high, but trust me, it's the best starter track in all of Mario Kart. The fact that this is the first track to introduce going the opposite direction as other racers is so cool. There's a barrier if you play on 50cc, which is lame as hell, but oh well. I honestly think this track does a good job of introducing players to the feel of the game. It's not a top tier track, but a one I quite enjoy. Number 10. Mushroom Bridge. It may seem disrespectful to put Mushroom Bridge that low, but there's just so many tracks that I love, and it's hard to decide which ones are better. Anyway, this track introduces so many different cars, such as the bomb one, the wiggler one, and even the mushroom one, which if you bump into one, it will spawn. The music is quite addicting as well, but of course the highlight of this track is the bridge. Yeah, I'm really bad at it. I was able to do it on 50cc, but I can't do any higher, and I don't intend to, because it's a waste of time and I don't like embarrassing myself. Still though, it's cool that you can do the big shortcut there that I didn't even know before. The track layout is simple, but I'm honestly fine with that. Though there's another track that I prefer, which I'll get to. Now we're going to be talking about all the A tier tracks. Yes, more than half of the tracks are great, and that's another reason why I love this game. Number 9. Baby Park. This is a love it or hate it track, and I'm on the side of loving it. I love when Nintendo comes up with crazy concepts like these. I love the Mario Kart 8's version, but this version is still my favorite due to the chaotic items on the track, which DS completely missed the point. Oh, I'm not looking forward to talking about you in the next video. Anyway, I just love that all the shells are bouncing around and they don't seem to be destroyed right away, which makes up for the craziness. I love when other racers suffer through the track, and even if I get hit multiple times, it doesn't take my enjoyment away because so many things are happening at the same time. Oh yeah, and the music choice is perfect, raising your anxiety level high throughout the entire time. It's the most basic layout, but it does its job. Before we move on, let's talk about battle mode. Wait, so why didn't you talk about it in your previous videos? Well, it's because I never played it. I never played with my brother for the older games, and I only played it just this one. I heard the battle mode for N64 is one of the best in the series, but I don't think I'll try it. Back to this game, I think the battle mode is very good. You have Balloon Battle, Shiny Thief, and Bob-omb Blast, which are all very fun, and the stages are nice as well. Let's rank it all very quick. In last place, Tilt-a-Kart. The track tilts, very exciting stuff. Can't believe I grinded this game just to get a mediocre battle stage. Number 5, Nintendo GameCube. A tight map, but you can make some chaotic plays. I just wish it took place inside the cube instead of on top. Number 4, Block City.
Good, but not one of my favorites.
Number 3, Cookie Land. It's visually cute and you can make some great plays on this stage. Number 2, Luigi's Mansion. This stage has great atmosphere and you can make some troll plays when you're on the rooftop, which I find that funny. But coming at number 1 easily is Pipe Plaza. What a cool gimmick, being able to go in and out of the pipe. It adds a lot of strategies. Whether you want to play from the top or bottom, it's a great stage and one of my favorite battle stages. Let's get back to my track ranking. Number 8, Yoshi Circuit. Who doesn't love this track? I mean, this track is shaped like a Yoshi, and the music always puts me into a good mood. Compared to the other remakes, this one always had the most charm, not because of a hidden shortcut I've never taken before, but there's also other elements like the aesthetics and color choices, and even a Yoshi helicopter in the sky. Like, wow, they didn't even need to go that far, but that's so cool. This is one of the best circuit tracks of all time, and these are the reasons why it's so beloved. Number 7, Mushroom City. It's a crime that none of the other Mario Kart titles have brought this track back. Mushroom Bridge is nice, but this course is much cooler in my opinion. I just love the city feel with this track and how you are able to choose paths which way you want to go, and I don't think either of them are faster, but yeah, it's nice. Then you get to the highway arena, and it's surprisingly difficult on 150cc because they don't give you much space to dodge. You can take the narrow shortcut on the right if you have the speed boost items, which I totally didn't forget when I played this track again. Anyway, this course rocks and cars need to learn how to use their signals. Number 6, Daisy Cruiser. Whoever it is that come up with the idea of racing on a cruiser, I love you. This track is just so easy to love, whether it is to go around a pool, dodging shifting tables, hitting a swim tube, or even down to a brig to get a double item, which the first time I went down there, it was so cool. It's everything I wanted from a cruiser track with a beautiful tropical atmosphere. Overall, I'm glad this track has been brought back to multiple Mario Kart games, and for Daisy's first ever course, she knocked out of a park. Number 5. Bowser's Castle. I enjoy the Super Circuit Bowser Castle tracks, but there were too many of them, and I'm glad Nintendo went back, only making one this time. And this is the first time it introduces a mechanical Bowser, and each Mario Kart serves different purposes. Even without the mechanical Bowser, this track has a really good layout. The swamps are difficult to dodge, especially having a heavyweight vehicle. But also there's lava bubbles, spinning fireballs to dodge, and as well as many sharp turns you have to make. It's incredibly satisfying, and the theme makes it better. It may feel a tad too long, but who cares. Number 4. Rainbow Road. I've played this Rainbow Road on CTGP the first time, and I loved it, but I wanted to see if this captures the same magic, and it really does. Double Dash's controls makes this track difficult for newcomers, but that's great since Rainbow Road is supposed to be hard. I love that there's a shooting stars on one section and you can collect a star. But coolest part of the track is the mushroom trampoline tunnel, which blew me away the first time. The music and aesthetics are both gorgeous, and I love how you can see Mushroom City down below, which is so cool. Probably the only criticism I have with this track is the ending with multiple loops. The camera I feel was a bit too zoomed in, making it harder to tell when it ends, but overall a really satisfying, tough final track. Number 3. Waluigi Stadium. This track remains one of the most exhilarating fun courses in this game, and it doesn't need half pipes to make the track better since it's already good as it is. I think part of that is Double Dash's mechanics. Tricks can make many tracks better, for example Mario Circuit, which we talked earlier, but in this track, it doesn't need one. Being able to go high taking ramps and dodging fireballs is cool enough, and there's lots of tight turns you have to go through, and going around cardboard cutouts of piranha plants. It's all really entertaining. This track has aged very well. We have finally made it to the S tier tracks, the tracks that are my all-time favorite. Number 2. Wario Coliseum. So apparently this is one of the most divisive tracks in Mario Kart history. I can see why people aren't a fan of it, but I always loved this one, even before playing this game. I think the part of me that loves this track is that you're going through an adventure, doing multiple tricks and many sharp turns. I never got bored of it, and some people don't like it, and that's fine with me. The biggest highlight of the track for me is the big ramp in the middle. Whether you want to take a risk and get the box, I always take the ramp no matter what. Thank God this track is 2 laps, because if it was free, I would have moved down in my ranking, but it would still be better than Wario Stadium and Rainbow Road from Mario Kart 64, since there's lots of things to do, unlike those two. There's one that's even better. Number 1. DK Mountain. You know, at first glance, this track may not seem that special. You go down through the mountain and dodge boulders and take the bridge and that's it. But actually playing this course is much different, and you'll get why it's such an amazing course. First off, this is by far the coolest cannon implemented to any Mario Kart game. It's so cool seeing the giant angry volcano. Second, going down through the mountains is so fun. The physics in this game work perfectly with this course, and there's many tight turns you have to make, which adds the difficulty. I failed the gap jump so many times on that part, and the reason why was because I didn't have a mushroom. I am a very smart person. And lastly, that evil narrow bridge, oh my god. You're able to place down many traps in that section, and you gotta pray that you don't get hit by a giant banana or Bowser's shell, since it can really ruin your race. I didn't even think this kind of track would be the best, but here I am. I am still praying this track comes to the booster course pass, even though it's kinda unlikely. So yeah, this concludes my ranking. I had a lot more fun talking about this more than the other ones. It's a really great game, and it stood its time. If you haven't tried this out, you should play it because it's so unique compared to the other entries in the series. The next one I'll be talking about is DS, which I'm looking forward to and not looking forward to. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next one.